Along with it's 5 o'clock somewhere and it takes two to tango, there's a saying that rules are meant to be broken. Here to show us how to follow your own path if you don't want to do things by the book, designer Suzanne Dimma, who never does things by the book. How are you, hon?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Good to see you too, and I'll say one of the things I love about you is that you march to the beat of your own drum.
Oh, I like that. Thank you.
You do, and you follow your own sort of intuition when it comes to design, and that's why you're such a lovely designer.
Thank
so you kind of go with the flow and do what you feel is right.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some rules that we've been hearing for years and years. Right?
Okay. And they are meant to be broken.
They
so
are.
One of the first rules is that art is supposed to be hung at eye level.
How many times have we heard this? Hang your art at eye level. And I think part of that is to stop people from hanging it sort of, you know, close to the ceiling.
Worst. I've seen
you
that,
don't want
and
that.
I'm like, that person's nuts. Why is that art on the roof?
Right.
But it's also like a holdover from gallery design. Like when people are hanging art in galleries, that's the thing, so that when you're coming in, you see it at eye level. But when you're in your own home, there's different perspectives.
Yes.
And you can create sort of interesting moments by changing that up. So here's a great example, for instance. This one's all about whimsy, hanging your art low.
So good.
I think it's great when you hang your art low. So I love this idea of taking your dog dishes, for instance. This is a great dog dish from Amazon, by the way. I love the height on it for big dogs.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
And just creating a moment for them.
Yeah,
right?
this is their art gallery.
For your dog.
It's
exactly.
perfect.
And like little pieces, and it's a fun talking conversation point for guests when they come over that's happening.
Yes.
And then I wanted to show you, this is kind of eye level, right? So that's how that works. And then the salon wall, the gallery wall, you can just fill the whole thing up. Like you don't even have to. So we started to do that, introducing rails like this one from IKEA to create kind of a sort of sense of a moment, I guess, right?
So another example.
Yes, this is another example of low. So imagine this is a bedroom and this is your bedside table, okay? So one of the things that I think is good is to think about how your artwork relates to your furniture. Like don't just hang it in a void. So what we did was we created this sort of intimate moment around the height of the bedside table and the lamp. So just filling it in that little nook. So this is considerably low, right?
It is.
But think about it when you're in bed, you get connected to your art piece. If this were in the living room and you had a chair here and it was where you read, then you are connected to that piece. You get to see it more intimately. I want to mention that this is from LT and so is the lamp. And this beautiful wallpaper from Thibaut at Primavera. This is a great idea too, just to fill in some of that negative space.
Oh, it's beautiful. Other examples? We have a couple of pictures.
Yes, we do. We have one more picture of the low art. I wanted to show this one because it's an attic space. So you know when you have an attic space and you have that low wall and then the angled ceiling, nobody ever knows what to do with that. You always find it's empty and it looks like someone's been murdered in there. So instead of the murder scene,
my master bedroom.
Exactly. Instead of the crime scene, and we went really big. We hung a really big piece in that space.
Yes.
And it's really dramatic when you walk towards it down that hall.
Super low. There's a bench in front of it.
And don't worry about putting furniture in front of it. You can do that.
Cool.
It just creates again that relationship between furniture and art.
You're such a rule breaker. Okay, rule number 2, you can't put carpets in the kitchen. That's what we're always saying. Don't think broadloom. Don't think wall-to-wall carpeting.
Don't do that.
Think this.
So airy rugs.
Yes.
Some people really have an aversion to rugs in the kitchen, and that's their thing. They probably won't do it.
Okay.
But if you choose a rug that's dark, with a pattern and not too heavy, so you can pull it out and whack it every now and then to get the crumbs out, you're fine. Like the rug you're standing on right now is a great example because it's thick enough that it's not going to move around. Like a killim, stay away from the killims that are really lightweight because they're just going to fly and you're going to have an accident in the kitchen.
You don't want that.
And an underpad. Don't forget an underpad. If you have a really thin one, so it doesn't slip.
Okay, rule number 3, don't put art in the bathroom. We've heard that many times. It's not going to make it. Too much condensation.
So again, avoid oil paintings. Or you'll end up in multicolors in your bathtub. But the trick is, so you need something under glass, photography, prints, that kind of thing. Get a really good framer to do it so that you know it's sealed tight. And that half wall that's behind the tub just lifts it up away from the water enough that it's safe.
Okay, good. So make sure you tell the framer that so they know, right? Rule 4, if it's broken, just throw it out. Pitch it. Why
well, we know that's not good, right?
No, we don't want to do that.
With all the eco-consciousness these days, you don't want to do. This is actually a picture of my own house.
Yeah.
And this door, this old door, I arrived home one day during construction, and that door was in the garbage bin on the front line.
Oh.
And I was so upset. I said, why is my door in there? And they had broken it. The glass was broken. There were like dents in the actual door. So I pitched it out. We chipped it off, like chipped off all the paint, and just let the dings and the dents be part of the character.
Yes.
Right?
I think that's gorgeous. Embrace it.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mistakes and the sort of, it's like an antique quality, right?
It is.
It adds a lot of character.
It's lived.
Yeah.
Rule 6, don't mix metals. Oh,
Yeah.
we've been saying that forever. Get over it.
I
Right?
think we've gotten over it.
I think we're over it.
But I do know that there's tricks around that. So for instance, here you've got a chrome faucet and you've got the brass handles. They're very subtle handles though, those
That's
pulls.
true.
So the trick is to pick metals that are kind of in the same tone. So you wouldn't want a bright gold mixed with that chrome, but that subtle gold is okay.
Yes.
And make sure it's evenly distributed around the room,
Okay.
right? So it's not just in one spot.
There are ways to do it right,
Yeah.
right? Thanks, Suzanne.